Skyrim has long been hailed as the perfect introduction to the Elder Scrolls series, but what if I told you Oblivion is actually a better place to start? Let me explain why. When Oblivion launched back in 2006, it was groundbreaking. It had amazing graphics for the time, deep RPG mechanics, and a massive open world to explore. Compared to Morrowind, it was a huge leap forward and much more approachable thanks to quality of life improvements and streamlined mechanics. Back then, Oblivion was the RPG to recommend, so when Skyrim dropped back in 2011 with even shinier visuals and smoother gameplay, it naturally stole the spotlight. And yeah, Skyrim is incredible. It's one of the best RPGs ever made in my opinion. It's also everywhere. It's been re-released, remastered, ported and modded to death. So when most people think of Elder Scrolls, they think of Skyrim. That's where a lot of people start. And honestly, that makes sense. It's modern, it's accessible, it runs basically on everything with a screen. But here's the thing, a lot of players skip Oblivion because it looks and feels outdated by today's standards, and they're missing out on something truly special. But that all changed with the release of the Oblivion Remastered. From the moment I booted up the remaster, I knew I was in for something special. The new main menu, the cinematic opening, it set the tone right away. Then I made my character, naturally the palest white dude as possible, and jumped in. And wow, this game looks incredible. The new character models, lighting, and environments. Unreal Engine 5 brings Cyrodiil to life like never before. It's not just a remaster, it really does feel like a full remake in a lot of ways. Honestly, it looks even better than most modern games in my opinion. I've played the original Oblivion before, but I barely made it 5 hours in. I was coming straight off Skyrim, so the visuals, the stiffer combat and complexity, it was overwhelming to me. I bounced off of it before I even gave it a real chance. But this time, with the remaster, it all just clicked. I made an assassin build, which yeah, ended up being a stealth archer again. Right away I noticed how much better the game plays. The combat is smoother, with better animations and reactions when you land hits. You can sprint now, which you couldn't in the original, and that alone makes it a big difference. Even when you shoot arrows, it just feels better with more hit impacts, your spells are flashier with new VFX, and generally the game just looks and feels better to play. Even the UI got a glow up. It still looks familiar but cleaner, easier to read with updated fonts and layouts, and all of that made it so much easier to get immersed and actually into the game. After finishing the tutorial dungeon, I explored a nearby ruin, grabbed some loot and made it my way to the Imperial City. And yeah, it was like stunning. That's where Oblivion started to show its true strength, not just in its visuals but in the world building. I found myself doing small side quests that slowly pulled me in deeper. One early quest had me following a shady vendor selling suspiciously cheap goods. After tailing him for a while, I uncovered that he was selling, in fact, items from the dead. I followed another guy and I found him stealing the items from the dead, but it was a trap, so I had to deal with him. It was a simple quest, but it told a story. It made me feel like I was really a part of this world. Then I found the arena where I could fight opponents and gold and rise to the ranks. It even had its own mini storyline, which I really appreciated. Then I went outside. I started exploring caves, forts, ruins. Every location felt rewarding. Sometimes I found loot, sometimes spells, sometimes I stumbled into entirely new quest lines, and I also find quite a few weapons, which is really satisfying because I get to equip my character with more loot. But one complaint I have compared to Skyrim is that the game doesn't tell you when you have completed a location, and it also doesn't have the convenient thing that allows you to go to the start of the dungeon when you are at the end so you can quickly leave. By this point I was hooked. The loop of exploration, combat and storytelling felt just as satisfying as Skyrim, but also deeper. Because here's the difference, Oblivion is more of a true RPG. Instead of perk trees, you pick major skills at the start. You gain stat points when you level up. You can even create a custom class if you want to. Your choices matter. If you don't focus your brain on something, you can end up as a jack of all trades and being weak, at least in the start of the game. Now in the remaster, you can level up even from non-major skills, which makes the game much more forgiving. And honestly, that's a great change. In the old Oblivion, I was really frustrated by the leveling system because I went on it blind and I ended up just leveling wrong and being weaker as I leveled up. And I'm so glad that changed and now everyone can enjoy the character they want to build. One thing I love even more than Skyrim is how Oblivion handles faction quest lines. They feel earned. You just don't walk into a guild and get handed the keys to the house. You have to prove yourself. do quests, build your reputation. Take the Dark Brotherhood for example. You start as a nobody, but as you take contracts and complete missions, you climb the ranks. Eventually you become someone truly important. And the missions, they let you roleplay as an assassin. How you kill your target is up to you, and if you fulfill certain conditions, you get bonuses. It's brilliant, it's immersive, and it makes you feel like your character's story actually matters in the grand scheme of things. I haven't even finished the main story yet, and I'm not in a rush. I want to take my time, enjoy the factions, and eventually check out the DLC. But already I can't say with confidence. Oblivion Remastered is the best introduction to the Elder Scrolls. It combines the richness and complexity of the older games with the accessibility and polish of the modern design. It plays better, it looks beautiful, and it's finally easy to get into without sacrificing the soul of what made it special. So before you play Skyrim for the 50th time, give Oblivion Remastered a shot. You might just discover your new favorite Elder Scrolls game.